All right. So yesterday we talked about the fact we played, in fact, KJP like being real cagey about releasing any information about the neurologist that visited Biden's doctor. And
Yes.
she said it was all because of privacy and other ridiculous nonsense, none of which made sense because the public logs clearly showed that the meeting occurred. And so Ronnie Jackson, who was the White House doctor for Obama and for Trump, weighed in on this. I was waiting for him because I knew that, he's a Republican now. He would absolutely say whether or not this is legit. That excuse that she gave was legit. It was not.
You were the president's doctor. Are there security reasons that you can't talk about public records?
Absolutely not, Kaylee. That's a ridiculous excuse, and the whole world can see right through it. There's no security. He was on the visitors' logs. It's a public document. It's public now. We know that Dr. Kennard came to the residence medical clinic at the bidding of Dr. Kevin O'Connor, who is the president's physician. That's what we know. What we don't know is who he saw there. Now, he went to the residence clinic, and a lot of people don't understand this. You know this, but there are two separate clinics there. There's a clinic in the Eisenhower Executive Office building, which is separate from the White House, and that's where everyone who's not a member of the First Family is expected to go get their care if they need to be seen. And it's possible that Dr. Kennard was coming in and he's seeing patients there, but he was waved into the residence clinic. The residence clinic is on the ground floor of the White House, directly below the president's bedroom, and it's reserved for care of the First Family. So if he was seen there, and if Dr. O'Connor summoned him to be seen there, our question is, who was he seeing there? Was he seeing the president, right? And she's claiming it's security, I guess patient privacy or something. But, if you saw someone besides the president, just tell us that, okay? Have Dr. O'Connor come down to the podium and say that. But the question is, did he or did he not see the president? Because he is a neurologist who specializes in Parkinson's disease and movement disorders. And the sad truth is, the whole world knows that there's something wrong with this president. He's broken, right? And maybe it's not Parkinson's. He said it's not Parkinson's, but it's very Parkinson's-like. It's some other type of movement disorder and some other serious cognitive issue. We need to know what's going on. We need to know what he's being treated for. And if Dr. Kennard saw him in the residence clinic, which the records indicate that he did, we need to know that that happened, and we need to know why that happened. This is not a privacy issue anymore. This is our commander-in-chief. This is a national security issue. And if this man is not leading our country and he's not capable of doing so, the world and the country needs to know that.
So thank you, Ronnie.
Right?
Thank you. And he's an actual doctor, not Jill.
And he was a White House doctor.
Yes.
He knows all the things.
And we should know these things because of what he said, because of national security, because of he works for us. My God, this is not
doesn't
difficult
work at all, but theoretically.
I'm talking about Joe Biden.
I know. That's why I'm saying he doesn't work at all.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. He doesn't work at all. Yeah. But I mean, technically, he is our employee. So we need to know what he is doing or what he's not doing,
and what he's capable of doing and not doing.
Yeah. I mean, good Lord, this guy has the codes.
And I know Ronnie Jackson, he didn't necessarily rule in Parkinson's. He said, it may, because the doctor's saying it may not be. But this doctor, this is a neurologist named, what is his name? Tom Pitts. And he was on a news show yesterday saying, I can spot the Parkinson's a mile away.
Anything that gives you a red flag as a doctor?
Oh, yeah. I see him 20 times a day in clinic. I mean, it's ironic because he has just such classic features of neurodegeneration. I mean, word finding difficulties, and that's not, I couldn't find the word. That's from degeneration of the word retrieval area.
He's also overcome stuttering, though. Could that be part of that, too?
Oh, my
No, this
God.
is not a palatal issue or a speech discrepancy, which is very different from a lemino dysfunction, actual word retrieval, where you pick a similar question or talk around the issue, plus the rigidity, monotone voice.
Wait, go back to that, the rigidity. What do you mean?
Rigidity, loss of arm swing, standing up lordically. You notice when he turns, it's kind of end block turning. It's not a quick turn. That's one of the hallmarks of Parkinson's is rigidity and bradykinesia, slow movement. And he has that hallmark, especially with the low voice that said was a cold hypophonia. A small monotone voice like this over time is a hallmark of Parkinsonism. I could have diagnosed him from across the mall.
Oh, wait, I think there's more.
If I'm wrong here, it's very hard to diagnose Parkinson's, isn't it? It's not simple. I mean, I've heard that it can be.
It's one of the easier movement disorders to diagnose, actually.
Right,
but it's so clinic. There's very little other. And I'm a Democrat. I always say about this.
Right.
It's just like this guy is not a hard case.
But
He's a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. He's a Democrat. That guy's like, I could diagnose this guy across the. Are you kidding me?
You guys, very, very excited. I know I messed this up yesterday, but the date is confirmed. Zach Abraham from Bulwark Capital Management, he's doing another inflation webinar. It is on July 25th. And you can sign up. You can hear all of his amazing good advice by just going to knowyourriskradio.com. He's calling inflation basically the silent 401k killer, the silent retirement killer. Because if you think about it, the less value that your money has, the less retirement comfortability you're going to have. And so this is important stuff, and it's free. So there's absolutely no reason that you shouldn't want to listen in. And again, all you have to do to sign up is just go to knowyourriskradio.com. Now here comes your disclaimer.
Advisory services offered through Track Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Track 24-244.
That was good. I was going to remind you to play it.
Anyway, sign up for it because he's always really good at these, and he'll answer questions. And so if you have questions, take advantage.
And he's a good conservative dude. Good conservative dude. We love him.
Yeah. Shameless about it, which is even better.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I totally do. They're covering for this guy. There's no way he's not been able to do the job for the past 4 years. Somebody else has been doing it behind the scenes. It's the Wizard of Oz, you guys.
And the reporters are asking the questions. Finally, I don't know who this fellow is, but he asked that of KJP specifically. Has the White House been engaged in a cover-up? The dancing that she does. Oh my God.
This morning, House Speaker Mike Johnson said, as he has before, that Democrats have been covering up the president's mental acuity for years. How do you respond to that? And has the White House misled Americans?
So I'll say this. Americans out there, folks who are watching, who are not normally in the day-to-day of what's happening in this world, there is a comprehensive full comprehensive medical report on the website, whitehouse.gov. I would encourage them to take a look.
That's her answer.
Yeah. It's biggest scam, man. One of the biggest scams in history that we're watching.
It really is.
And we're watching it right before our eyes. We're just watching it. And they are lying to us. They just lie. I mean, like COVID was it was pretty awful what we went through and what the government did to us. And now this. And I got to say, I mean, if you fell for a lot of crap they did to you during COVID and then you're falling for this, like, dude, what are you doing? I mean, most of us, I mean, obviously I'm looking at, you look at comments, people in our community, they know that the government lies to you. This is like one of the biggest scandals, right? It's blatant what they're doing. It's absolutely blatant. He obviously has something wrong with him and they are covering it up. And that's a huge scandal, you guys. It's like, it's crazy.
Janet Yellen was in a committee hearing yesterday answering questions about whatever that goblin answers questions about. And one of the congressmen asked her to talk about her meetings with Biden, and she gets very, very defensive. Now, there's a part of this I cut out because it was playing too long. But essentially, after that Q&A with the congressman, she's basically not going to answer. Somebody raised a big stink, and they were like, she's not a doctor and this is ridiculous. And then there was a whole bunch of back and forth about, is this procedurally okay for him to ask the question? So I cut all the procedural stuff out, and then you'll hear how his final question went. Here it is.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Secretary, when was the last time you met with President Biden in person?
I meet with President Biden over a wide range of issues, the economy, China,
when was the last
Russia.
time you met with him in person?
I'm not going to comment on my meetings with the president. Those are private.
Well, as a cabinet secretary, have you noticed any mental or cognitive decline in any of these meetings?
The president is extremely effective in the meetings that I've been in with him. That includes many international meetings that are multi-hour, like his meetings with President Xi. I've met with him, with other leaders who are in.
So are you testifying that you have not seen any mental or cognitive decline?
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry. She's not a physician.
Chairman. Madam Secretary, have there been any discussions among cabinet secretaries about invoking the 25th Amendment?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
We have not talked about that.
the amount that people, like just the extent that people will go to cover up for this guy. And we've talked about it with other people too, like KJP, and like Yellen is obviously a perfect example, just what we show. I look at her and I think, what makes her do that? Obviously they want to keep power, but like she has to go home at night and look at herself in the mirror, which it's got to be hard enough anyway, just because of who she is. She's a bridge troll. So it's hard enough to look at herself, but like to actually face herself and go, I'm lying to people. I'm lying to the American people every single day about a number of things, about the economy, about this guy having something wrong with him neurologically. She just, like, these people lie and lie and lie some more.